success and relationships. And we thought that it would be good because we have Valentine's this month. I hope that you have a loved one that's going to take you out. But if not, take yourself out. You know, that's not like a biblical holiday or anything like that, but that's okay. I'll take it. Any day that I could get taken out or I could take out my husband is always good, or do it with my children. So I'm just writing it here because it didn't paste. See, everyone's joining. Beautiful. Let me pin this. Beautiful. Hi, Christine. Hi, Natasha. La Petite Boutique, how are you? Hi, Angel. So I'm going to talk about myself today. God bless you, Israel. I'm going to talk about myself today because I have to tell you, right? A lot of you guys that are listening to me are do a lot of things. Especially if you're a mom, you're doing a lot of things, you know? All right. All right, Jonathan, you post about your leather every single week. That's awesome. But I want you to listen to the story. I want you to listen to the message. So listen, we're starting a new 4-week series, okay? This 4-week series is called Success in Relationships. And today I am going to be the one speaking. And I have some really good stuff for each and every one of you, speaking about success in relationships. How do you balance it all? So for many of us, right, we've been talking about entrepreneurship. We've been talking about so many things. This is an awesome segue to what we were talking about last week with my favorite friend. Okay, he's doing such a good job. In Miles Rambo Young, he spoke about owning your time, and he gave tips on how do you own your time from the morning to the end, and what is it that you do in order to get it all done, right? So it was exciting when I met with my team and we were talking about what to talk about this month. I found it very key to talk about success and relationships. So I want you guys to kind of interact with me as I'm talking. Maybe you want to share some of your comments and I'll talk about them. Excuse me, if you have any questions or you have anything that that maybe pertains to you, right? So a lot of you guys that follow me, which I'm very blessed about it, you guys do a lot of things. We juggle many things. We're moms. Some of us are not moms. Some of us are, whatever your situation is. You're working, you have a business, you're running a home, you need to take care of your health, take care of yourself. So many different things that go on every single day. And how do we balance it all? How do we combine our relationships with our success? Very important. Have you ever heard of like very successful people, but then you look at their relationships and they don't have one? They either got divorced, their children don't want to speak to them. I mean, we were just watching a movie a few days ago with my daughter, and I forgot the name of it, but it was a movie on Eddie Murphy, and he was working his butt off, and his daughter was a fairy tale person, and she would see all these princesses and all that. And apparently, allegedly in the movie, I don't know if you guys heard of this, right? Apparently in the movie, the little girl knew how his stocks were going to do. And Eddie Murphy realized, wait a minute, I got to get together with my daughter because my daughter's telling me how to be successful. But the moral of the story was that it was everything about work, 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 work. And he was not obtaining that relationship with his daughter. And at the end of the day, he opened his eyes and realized, hey, I'm going to be successful, but I only have one child. And she's only 5 years old one time. I only have one child or 5 children or whatever your situation is. And I need to spend time with my relationships in order for me to add on in order for me to add on to my success, not to take away from it. So how do you balance that? How do you become successful and at the same time have a good relationship with your marriage or with your children, or maybe with your ministry, or maybe with the people from your church, or maybe with your neighbor, or your co-workers or people that you're in business with? How do you maintain that? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So for all you guys that know me from very, very, very young, right? I'll talk about myself a little bit. From very, very young, I've always done a lot of things. I've always been interested in a lot of things. From growing up in church, my parents were pastors and they always had us in 100,000 activities. So I grew up always being busy. So I was in school. We were in a band in school. I was in a storytelling competition in school. I do band after school. After that, we will go to church almost every single day. We were in charge of the children. We would do evangelism. We would do ministry on the weekends. When my parents would go out to pray for the sick, my sister and I stayed home to clean the house. And then people would come over to the house and dirty it up again. But that was what we did. My house was always full and packed with people. I grew up doing a lot of things. I saw my parents also doing a lot of things, but still being successful with us, spending time with us, especially my mom, taking out time to spend time with us, to sit with us, to talk to us, to pray with us. And that was an important thing to me. And when I grew up, when I got older, I wanted to do that too. I kind of wanted to stop what I was doing once in a while and spend time with my children, spend time with my husband, and not feel guilty about it. Have you guys ever felt guilty no matter what you do? If you're working, you should be with your children. If you're with your children, you should be working. Or you should be doing something in the business, and always feel guilty about no matter what it is that you do, right? So at the end of the day, we're going to start focusing on, hey, you can have great relationships, and at the same time, you also can be successful in whatever area God has called you to be in. It could be in the area of ministry, in the area of business, if it corporate work, whatever it is. If God is calling you to do something new, whatever it is, you can be successful in both areas, right? So how do you balance it all? How do you balance it all? Last week, it was amazing with Miles Rambo Young, and he kind of went over from the morning all the way to the end. How do you actually accomplish something and not start something and never finish it? So I see a lot of people that start something but never finish it. They start, oh, I'm excited, I'm starting a new business today. Tomorrow, they quit. The following month, they're starting something new. And that's why they don't get any traction, because they don't stop, right? We are on episode 27. So a year and a half ago, and I talk about this all the time, God sat me up on my bed and told me, hey, whatever angers you is what God's called you to solve. And at that moment in time, God had put a burning desire for me to write a book about my mom. And I didn't want to write it. It wasn't something I wanted to do. I wanted my mom to write it, right? I speak about this all the time. But God had told me, I've been giving you that burning desire for the last 10 to 12 years. Okay, and it's time for you to write it. And I was like, well, my mom, she's doing so well. She's living the best days of her life. And here she is, people need to know about this. She needs to leave a legacy. And God told me, okay, so the legacy is something you're going to do. So a year and a half ago, my world was kind of almost 2 years, actually. The book came out January 28th. It was a year last week that the book came out, Prevail, The Process of Overcoming, which is, for me, is mind-boggling, that I actually wrote a book, that I'm an author, right? That's mind-boggling to me. But all I was doing was really listening to what God was telling me to do. And he opened the doors where there was no doors. He still is. It's really incredible. And if you get the book and you listen to my podcast or listen to these lives, you could catch them on YouTube later on if you want to catch up. But we are on episode 27. If I would have started that, right, it started a journey of doing a podcast, The Prevail Point. I'm in my 34th episode. Were there times I wanted to quit? 100%. Is there times that I'm like, am I doing these lives? Is this effective? 100%. Why? Because I want to make sure that I'm doing God's will in everything that I'm doing. And then when I meet with my team, and then when I meet with people, they're like, no, you're impacting people. And at the end of the day, that's my calling. My calling is impacting people. And a lot of times, the reason why you continue to quit and you're not successful in whatever area God has called you to be in is because you quit. Losers never win, and winners never quit. Okay? You will never lose if you don't quit. But going back to balancing it all and having all those successes in your life is really prioritizing your time. That's very key. That's very key. So when I was in church doing 50 million things, I'm still doing those things, right? You're preaching, you're singing, you're, counseling, you're doing plays, you're doing so many things. If you go to church, you know about that, right? But not just that. You're also juggling a home life. You're also juggling a marriage. You're also working with your children. If you have a business and you have partners, you also want to keep those relationships pure. And you want to make sure that you're not spreading yourself thin. So there's a quote, right, that kind of captured me. And it says, spread my butter too thin and now my bread is dry. So you want to make sure that you're not spreading yourself too thin. And sometimes I question, like, am I spreading myself too thin, right? If you're a person that your personality is to say yes to everything, you got to understand that there are times that you got to say no. That's the first tip, right? We're going to talk about a few tips. You have to learn how to say no to people when you figure out what your priorities are. So let me take it back when my daughter was born, my firstborn. She was about 3 or 4 years old. I had lost everything. I literally had no money. I had to get on welfare. I needed public assistance. My car was being repoed. Everything was done. I was getting a divorce. I stayed with all the debt of the marriage. Everything was kind of on my shoulders. And I was like, I need to find something that I'm going to make money because I am not going to allow my circumstances to affect my child. I was a single mom. Okay, single mom, just doing everything on my own. I remember my mother came to pick me up from Florida. I was living in Florida. I thanked my sister for giving me a roof over my head. I was basically homeless. And I was, my sister was giving me a place to stay. And my mother came to get me. I don't remember exactly when. They know the story more than me. I'm just talking about it, how I remember it. My mother, I think it was a Thanksgiving dinner, Mom, tell me if it was good or not, if I'm right or not. I think it was a Thanksgiving weekend. And she came to get me. And I remember crying, bawling. And she's like, you coming home. Like, you got to stop the madness. I know what's going on. Your marriage is in shambles. You're a single mom. My daughter was probably 2 years old at the time. And I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. So I remember going back to New York and looking for work. I had Claudia said, single moms are the strongest moms I know. They are. They definitely are. And I remember my mother came to get me. I go to New York. I'm looking for work everywhere. I couldn't find work. So I have 2 bachelor's degrees, one in psychology, one in sociology. I've done social work for almost 8 years. I was a substance abuse counselor in the Bronx, and I was in Brooklyn as well. That's another story, but I did a lot of stuff. But everything surrounding around serving, everything surrounding about helping people. And I couldn't find a job. And every job I would find, I wanted to, they were paying peanuts. I'm like, how am I going to pay a $50,000 bill and debt and get back? My credit score was about 350. It was bad. It was bad. My older brother actually gave me his name so I could buy a car because I couldn't even do that. And my brother, I thank my brother for that. But just to give you a little background, my priority was to take care of my daughter. So think about, how is it that you juggle it all? You need to find your priorities. At the time, my priority was to take care of my daughter. She was 3 years old and I wanted to put her in ballet. I wanted to put her in tap dance. I wanted to do all those things, and God opened doors where I started going into, and I didn't tell you, while I was married, I also lost my business. I had a finance and asset management business, and I lost that due to my divorce and everything else that we were going through. And so I was done. I had no money. My focus was, I'm going to take care of my daughter. That's my priority. My priority was my daughter. When I found a job that God opened the doors, in corporate America, in sales. I found my niche in sales, right? I found my niche in sales. I see so many people joining. I just want to say hi to Donald, Milagros. How you doing, sweetheart? Rita. I see a lot of people joining. Just want to say hi. Melanie, I don't know if you're still on. Janice, Israel, Ronnie, Gladys, how you doing, mi amor? Just want to say hi to everybody. Oh, hi. Christine, and so many people. Sarah, God bless you, mi amor. Angel, and everybody else that's on Instagram. When I got the job, the first thing I remember asking the person that took me out, because I found my niche in sales. When I did financial planning, I was like, wow, you know, I'm good with this. People like me. I like people. I like to be around people. I love that. Okay. The first thing I asked was like, well, how much you can make here? It wasn't about the money. It was about, what can I do to take care of my daughter? Responsibility, priority. What was my why? Why is it that we spread ourselves too thin? Because we don't know our why. We don't know why we should be doing what we're doing. So I remember I had the interview. They didn't hire me. They called me back and they said, hey, listen, we got a territory for you. I want you to go grab it. And went on my ride day, right? If you're in sales, you know about that. They take you out, you see everything that's going on. And I remember the guy telling me, I won't mention his name, but I love him very much. He's on the live sometimes. He told me, hey, you know, if you're here, you're probably gonna make like $40,000. And for me, I was like, okay, if you're telling me 40, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do double that. Because if I could control my income here and God gave me the ability to create wealth, then God, I'm going to put on, you know, the armor of God, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to do whatever it takes to work my butt off, because I understood my why. I understood what was my priority. My priority was to take care of my younger daughter, my firstborn, which at the time was 3 or 4 years old. I remember Rita, if you're there, that's when you met her. She was like 4 years old. She is in her second year of college right now. Unbelievable. I don't know if she's on, but if you are, baby, say hi to me. And my why was, you know what? I need to get it done. I remember the first year that I was in my position, I did more than double that. And every year, it was like double that income. And yes, I worked hard. Yes, there was times that I went home and I was still on the computer. Yes, there was times that I was in the office till 9 o'clock at night. Well, thank graciously, my mother was taking care of Jessiny, or I had other people watching her. And I did it, and I did what I had to do because I understood my why. My relationship at the time with my daughter was more important to me than anything else. So me working, it was for my relationship with my daughter to become a success. So a lot of times, the reason why we see a lot of successful people not have good relationships is because they don't know their why. They don't know why they're doing it. They're not setting their priorities straight. They're kind of saying yes to everything and forgetting that your children, if you have them, they're only young one time. You know, they only, your relationship with your husband is priority, because one day your children are going to leave and it's just going to be you and him. Are you taking out that time to build those relationships that are important to you? Are you taking out your time to build relationships with your parents? You know, I hear all these things, you know, you don't know what you have until you lose it. And a lot of us have amazing parents. Are you spending out time with them? I'm not saying spend time with them every day. I'm not saying do that every day, but do you take out time to be with them in their birthday? Or maybe in Christmas time, do you take out time to build those relationships with your family? Very important. So what did I do back then to balance it all? What did I do? I made sure that my mother understood my why. And that's why it wasn't a problem for her to watch Destiny. Right now, we're talking about almost 15 years ago. She's 19. 16 years ago. The people that were around me, I made sure they understood my why and my priority. When I sat down and I spent time with my daughter, I made sure that she understood she was my priority. Hey, baby, I couldn't be with you. I came home at 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, but this is why. So everybody was in one accord of what I was doing, and I made sure that I took out the time. Even back then, I think I've gotten better, even back then, to be and to make sure that the relationships that were in my life were important to me. Because at the end of the day, when you're in a hospital bed, and my mother always told me this, when you're in a hospital bed, who are the people that are going to go see you? It might not be your coworker. Might not. It might not be the people you go hang out in the bar with. It may not be the people that you go, that, you spend time with, or maybe people you're texting, or people you're on the phone with, gossiping. Those are probably not the people that are going to go see you. It's probably going to be a husband, a wife, a mom, a child, a grandma. It's going to be those people that are going to be there for you. And that's why you have to take out that time to connect with them. Now, I'm not saying it has to be every day. I'm not saying that this is something that we do every single day. But what I am saying is that we need to learn how to balance it all. Okay? So look at this. Spread my butter too thin. If I spread my butter too thin, and now my bread is dry. What does that mean? What does that mean? You got to make sure that you're balancing it. Sometimes, look at what it says. I want to do good and I want people to be happy. And sometimes when you're a people pleaser, you spread yourself too thin. How many of us here are people pleasers? I'm one of them. People pleaser. I want to please everybody. But I started realizing that when you're a people pleaser, people control your calendar. So you got to make a choice. You control your own calendar, or you allow other people to control your calendar. You have to make a choice. And it doesn't matter where in your career you are. It doesn't matter where in your life you are. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You need to learn that you control your calendar. Hi, Tuti. How you doing, mi amor? You got to control your calendar. So one of the things that helped me balance it all was that I learned how to live my life with meaning. I learned that when I'm making decisions, I'm making them with a concise mental picture of what I want in my life. That's why writing down your goals is so important. We spoke about this in the beginning of the lives. That's why it is important that you make sure that you have meaning, okay? And we're going to talk about how to find meaning in your life. I talked about what are your priorities, what is your why, how is it that you balance it all, how is it that, if you're a single mom, if you're not a single mom, if you're married, if you have children, why is it that a lot of successful people sometimes don't have successful relationships? We're going to change that in this 4-week series talking about success in relationships, because all this week, all the month of February, next week I'm gonna have my husband. We're gonna talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. The following week I'm gonna be with my mom. She's gonna talk about how to move on from a failed relationship. And the 4th week we're gonna talk about is God in your relationship. It's gonna be deep, But today God's been talking to me, and today God has a word for you, because God wants you to understand that relationships are key in your success. What does it matter to make all this money and you don't have anybody to share it with, right? Why it's so important to get a degree, to do this, to spend all this time, and then when you go back home, there's no one to share it with. It's important that our relationships are key. So one of the things I started understanding, that whatever situation you are in your life, you got to understand that family is a ministry. Why do I say that? Because a lot of people that follow me are in ministry. A lot of people that follow me have a business. When I say ministry, I'm talking about business. I'm talking about something that you spend most of your time in. I'm talking about either a corporate job, or maybe a business that you're running, or maybe the ministry that you're running, or something like that as a leader. You need to understand that family is also a ministry. And then I'm going to start talking about something else. Family is also a ministry. Let me tell you, when I had my second daughter, my husband and I were in ministry, in a business that we're still in, actually. And we traveled a lot. We did a lot of conferences. We did a lot of team huddles, team meetings, and it was amazing. It still is. And I remember when I had my second child, I was a little older. Okay, I was already 38, 39 years old. My body didn't kind of pop back like it did the first time 10 years before. So it was a little difficult for me. I had gotten into anxiety. I got through so many things when I had the second child. I don't know if I spoke about this before, but they overdosed me with Percocet. That is like a demon drug for my body. And it gave me a lot of anxiety, a lot of panic. And, you know, I've spoken about this before, but God healed me from that. And I remember that God, that God started showing me a different path to take. And I was feeling guilty because now I was not as focused on the business because I was breastfeeding, I was taking care of a baby, I was watching her changing diapers, I was doing the mom thing. And I remember feeling guilty because I was doing stuff that a mom should be doing, because while I was doing the mom stuff, I was thinking, man, I should be doing business. And when I was doing the business stuff, I was thinking, man, I should be taking care of the baby. And I started realizing that God started showing me to embrace the journey that I was in at that time. Okay? So if your journey right now is to take care of your child, listen, embrace that journey. Don't get upset because you're looking at me or looking at somebody and saying, wow, you know, I maybe I'm not in business right now. Maybe I'm home taking care of the kids. Hey, that is a ministry to take care of your children. I am who I am right now because my mother stopped what she was doing for a long time and took care of 4 children and advised them and counseled them and make sure that she was taking care of them and forgetting about herself so that we could be who we are today. My mom did that, and I thank her for that. And there's people that are listening to me today that you have a business and you have children, and you got to understand, don't feel guilty. When you're with your children, embrace it. When you're within your business, embrace it. When you're in your job, embrace it, because that is the means that God is giving you to take care of your children. Okay? And I had to really stop and say, I will no longer feel guilty for taking care of my children. I will no longer feel guilty because I'm in my business, because my business right now was allowing me to take care of my children to the fullest. So could we agree with that? Could I get some thumbs up if some people relate to that? If some people relate to the fact that, wow, you know, yeah, I'm not going to feel guilty. You know what's another guilt? And you know the guilt does not come from God. It comes straight from the pit of hell, okay? Feeling guilty, taking care of yourself. That was a big one for me too. If I took care of myself, it was like, should I really be doing my nails? Maybe I could, you know, take time to, I don't know, give money here or do this. I felt guilty. I have to do my hair, or, you know, maybe I should take a long bath. I mean, I know for some people that's silly, but that's a big deal when you're running around all day to actually take a bath and not a shower. Or take a 2-minute shower versus getting in a nice bath with Epsom salt and with, you know, some nice aromas, and taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, taking care of your heart so that you can go back out and do what God has called you to do. How do you balance it all? You know, do you involve your husband? Do you involve the people that are in your life? Hey, listen, I just want you guys to know these 2 hours are for me. I thank God so much for my husband because he understands, babe, you know, he doesn't bother me in the morning. In the mornings is my time with God. In the morning is my time of prayer. In the morning is my time to be with the Lord. And he knows that if there's things to do in the house, he's going to tell me after I'm out of my room. And I embrace that. He knows, I'm like, babe, if I don't grab this time to be with the Lord in the morning, I'm going to be cranky. You know, a happy wife is a happy life. And he has embraced that. So he leaves me alone. He leaves me alone. He knows my hour, my half an hour, depending the time that I wake up in the morning, obviously, because I do have a high-end corporate job. And I have my business. But I make sure that when I wake up in the morning, I'm balancing it all out by making sure that my spirit is right with God, that making sure that my soul is at rest, by making sure that I am giving first what God is telling me to do, so then I could go out and go do his ministry. Very big for me. And right now I'm in a process. I know you guys know I weighed myself today. I am 22 pounds down. The goal is not to lose weight or be skinny. I mean, it is, but the goal is to be healthy more than anything else. Right now with the coach that I have, I'm in a regimen to lose weight, and I can't really work out. But as of 3 months ago, I mean, I still work out, I walk and everything like that, but I'm gonna exaggerate. If I work out, I'm doing weights, I'm just like, I gotta wake up sore or I don't feel like I worked out, okay? That's just how I am. But I'm not doing that right now. But my routine in the morning, I'm waking up, I'm spending time with the Lord. I'm waking up, I'm spending time. Good morning, Holy Spirit. Good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Father. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Where is your spirit? What are you doing? Because let me tell you something. Once you're out of the room and once you start life, guess what? Guess what happens? Life goes crazy. Life goes crazy. You don't have time. I mean, I'm praying all day, but hello, I'm doing proposals for customers. I'm getting no all day. I'm getting screamed. If a customer of mine had a bad day, guess who they're going to take it out? They're going to take it out on the salesperson. Okay, they take it out on me. And I'm just like, yes, I know. I don't take it personal. Yes, I love you. Don't worry. I got you. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. And how do I get that and not snap back? It's because in the morning, I already know that I have to be in the spirit. I already know that I have to take out that time to be with God. How do I balance it all? When I wake up in the morning and I pray, I'm looking at my calendar. I'm looking at my calendar. What are the meetings that I have today? What are the things that I need to accomplish? What is my to-do list that day? I am so good on a to-do list. If I write it down, I will not stop until that gets done. And I know some people might say, well, that's OCD. But guess what? It has made me successful. And when I say I don't stop, I'm not saying that I'm, all day in that task, but I make sure that I time it right so that to-do list is completed and I get things done. So let's talk about the day. How do you balance it all, right? Stop feeling guilty about being a mom, about being a business owner, about doing the things that you need to do. Stop feeling guilty when you take out time. When you take out time to be with your husband, or if you have a relationship and you take out time to be with them. Take out time to be with your family. It's important to do that. For some people, there's people here that are not married. There's people here that don't have children. Well, take out time to be with you, to get to know you. So when your Prince Charming comes or your Princess Charming comes, you're ready for them. So waking up in the morning, spending time with God, then I look at my calendar. Okay? And I started realizing that if I don't take out that time to be with me, then I'm going to be cranky. So I take out time to be with me. And I understood that being with family was also part of my ministry. So guess what? I know a lot of you guys saw me post yesterday. If you are in New York, you have been bombarded with a snowstorm, right? Sunday night, my daughter was excited. She didn't go to school Monday. She didn't go to school Tuesday. She was like, yeah. She was having a good time. So on Monday, the snow was crazy and I didn't want to go outside. I know my daughter wanted to go outside, the little one, the 8-year-old. She wanted to go outside. And I was like, I'm not doing it. Not today. I know my husband is out there. He's shoveling. He was out there like 4 hours just shoveling and driveway and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I don't like her to go out while my husband is out because nobody's watching her, right? Not on purpose. It's just my husband's focused on shoveling. So I make sure that he does that. But Tuesday morning came and I woke up. I got up early. I did my stuff for work. And I said, baby, today is the day. We're going to go out. We're going to do a snowman. We're gonna spend time together. We're going to get it done because I know you've been wanting to slide down and do snow angels and do all that stuff. When I woke up in the morning, that was part of my to-do list. I knew without a shadow of a doubt, I didn't know exactly what time I was going to do it because I had to do some work in the morning. But I already had prepared my daughter and told the baby, today is about you. And she was excited. She got up. I know she's 8. She already knows how to cook. She's amazing. I can't wait for her to get older when she starts, frying stuff and everything like that. So she could cook for us. She's definitely taking after her dad because her dad is the cook here. And she got ready. She was already getting ready, putting her snow stuff, doing everything that she had to do. And we went out and I spent time with her with no guilt. We sat down in the snow. We lay down in the snow. I was like, try to catch snowflakes. You know that every snowflake is a different size and shape, and we're talking, and I'm trying to grab branches and, spending time, and my husband's laughing, and I'm like, no, this is it. I'm spending that quality time, and we work on doing that at least once a week. If not once a week, where is that serious quality time, where it's just a few hours just for that one child, or a few hours just for my husband. We did it. We had to do it. Last Saturday, my husband was like, that's it. Like, he already knows. Like, I tell him, because I'm a people pleaser and I'm always taking care of everybody, I taught my husband that he needs to take care of me in the aspect of, you got to stop me sometimes. Like, I told him that, right? I told him, you got to stop me sometimes and say, babe, it's time to relax. It's time to go, right? Because my default is to work. You got to figure out what your default is. You got to figure out who you are, right? You got to figure out how God created you. So my default is to work. My husband's default is to relax, right? So we are good medium. So when he sees that it's just too much for me, he's like, wait a minute, babe. We're taking you out. We did. We got babysitter for Jaylin, and we went out to dinner. And it was just like, what a rekindling of the marriage. What a rekindling of your relationship with your children. What a rekindling of whatever relationship is important to you while you're being successful, because they're going to add on to your success. Do you agree with that? When you have the good relationships, they add on to your success. They don't take away. And a lot of times we've been brought up that relationships take away from a success, and they don't. Relationships add on. You got to write that down somewhere. Relationships, good relationships, healthy relationships, they add on to your success. Thank you, Rita. She said the snowman was awesome. Yes, thank you. It was. It took us forever. I videotaped it, in fast motion, and it was 24 seconds, but we were there for a couple of hours trying to get that done. But the snow was perfect for the snowman. But do you know that when Jaylin gets older, she will never forget that day? She will never forget the days when my husband and I take out time to be with her. When my husband sits down, and I laugh, because sometimes, I'm home all day now, but before I was, I used to go out, right? And a lot of meetings, a lot of proposals. I used to be in the city, because I do a few things. And I'll tell you guys everything that I do, okay? And how do I juggle it all? So I come home, or even if I'm upstairs, I come home and they're sleeping in the sofa. They play sleeping, But that's like the joke of the day. I go downstairs and they put themselves to sleep. And we cuddle, we have a good time. It's the end of the day, we start winding down so we could start the next day. We could start, okay, go take a bath, take out your clothes for tomorrow, stuff like that. But that's very important. That's very important, taking out that quality time. I already said this, right? But there's a saying that goes, make yourself a priority. At the end of the day, you're the longest commitment. That's huge, right? I was talking about this. Don't feel guilty about taking out time for yourself. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. But yesterday, I spent that quality time with my daughter. And it was just amazing. It was just, when my big daughter comes, when my older daughter comes, I do the same thing. What she likes is to go shopping, okay? Or get me an app, or get me more memory, or they both have different goals. But I try to combine both of them. And I do it because you know what? I'm already feeling it. My daughter's already second year of college. She's loving her life. She's in a Christian college in Pennsylvania. She's loving it. She has her challenges like everybody does. But, very soon she's going to find someone. And I don't know. Is she going to stay around me? I don't know. I hope she does. My goal is that we build a compound and I build a house right next to, cul-de-sac. And I have the big house, and I'll a house for my mom. I'll build a house for my two daughters so that we could all be around each other. Hey, if you're going to dream, why not dream big, right? It doesn't cost anything for dreaming. And it's really actually one of my goals. We already planning on it and putting down on getting this compound because I want to be around my family. I want to be around them. I want to do that. Okay, so we're almost done here. And I'm going to talk about the biggest reason the biggest way how you balance it all. I can't wait to get to this because even earlier when I was praying and I was just in God's presence, I started crying because God has a solution for everything. He really does. The Bible is a solution maker. Okay, the Bible's a solution maker. If you don't know that, you have to read the Bible. If you don't believe in the Bible, read it like a book. It's still a solution maker. Just look for it. Google, what do I do when this happens to me? Bible verse. Look it up. I promise you that the wisdom that you're going to get out of the Bible is going to be unparalleled to any book, any theology book, any book that you can, from any philosopher. The Bible will break it down to you. Okay. Hi, Belkis. How are you? Look at this. So I was praying and I was like, Lord, at the end of the day, yes, how do you balance it all? How do you balance success and family? Right? How do you balance success? And yes, Francelli, Proverbs is the best. Yes, it is. I was going to get to that. Thank you for beating me to it. Okay. The Bible's the best. So listen to this. I'm so excited. Genesis 2:2. It says, by the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. How do you balance it all? You need to take out a day to rest. You need to take out a day to rest. Okay, maybe you can't take a day because you're busy. I know, I get it. Half a day. I'm talking about relax, breathe, so you could start the week over. Okay? God did it. He looked at man, the verses right before that, and he said, wow, I created them in my image and likeness. I'm getting there, Jana, with the Sabbath. I got you. I created them with my image and likeness. Now it's time to rest. He did it. So that's the Old Testament, right? In the New Testament, you see how Jesus, right? He is the God of the Sabbath. He was teaching the Hebrews, the Jewish people, how to take out the time to rest. It was holy to them. It was the only day that was holy from Friday sundown to Sunday to Saturday sunrise. It's the day you don't do nothing. You don't cook. You don't do anything. Okay? He was teaching everybody. It's from the Old Testament all the way to the New Testament. Okay? Now, yeah, there's arguments. Jesus did miracles in the Sabbath day. Was he working? No, he was teaching them, okay, that it didn't matter what you're going through. People are more important than a religion, right? Friday night to Saturday night. Okay, Jana, thank you for correcting me. You're right. Friday night to Saturday night is the Sabbath. So all of those things, when I start reading the Word of God, I start saying, wow, Jesus, wow, Lord, on the seventh day you rested. You're instructing your people to rest on the Sabbath. You have instructed all of us to rest. That's why it is so important to balance it all. At the end of the day, you need to take out that time to rest. And I said, well, how do you rest when you have 4 children? How do you rest when all your children are young, right? There is no time of rest. Like, what do? Knock them all out at the same time so they could go to sleep? But you need to find that time to rest and be in the presence of God and just relax and wind down. It's going to be okay. Los trastes se van a hacer ahorita. The dishes are gonna get done. It's okay. You know, if you OCD need to have the house spotless every day like my husband and my mom, sorry, I had to shout you out. And thank God. I mean, I have my husband and my mom because they like, Gina, it's time, you know, and they come and help me. But everybody has their strength, right, in every area of their life. But at the end of the day, you need to take out that time to rest. Put them to sleep and then you rest. I know, but what if they don't go to sleep all at the same time, Mom? That's what I'm saying. You still need to figure it out. It was a joke, but you need to figure it out. You know, the Christians, the Jewish have it Friday to Saturday. You know, we take out that Sunday to rest, to go to church, to be with the Lord. But you need to take out that time to rest. You know, what's the benefit of a rest day? So I was looking at things, looking at line and getting educated, and I'm gonna end with this. When you're working out, you do more damage working out every day than working out every other day. So like, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna work out every day, you're doing damage to your body. Okay? But all of these things also pertain to your mindset, to your emotions, to your mental state. It pertains to everything that's going on in your body in order for you to get back to recharge. Everybody needs that time to recharge. How do you balance it all? I'm going to leave you with this. You got to take out that time to rest, that Sabbath time. You got to take out that day to rest. When you rest, it aids in recovery. You recover. You give time to relax. Relax your mind. Relax everything that's going on around you. Make sure that you're taking out that time to recover. It recovers your mind, your emotions, your bones, recovers your ligaments, right, if you're working out. Prevents mental burnout. I was talking to my mom, and last week or the week before, I'm not quite sure, we were doing we were fasting for 3 days. And I said, Mommy, you know, we need to do this. And talking to my husband, I'm like, I need to fast once a week. I mean, I can't wait. Sometimes if you don't put it in your calendar, it's not going to happen. I need to do this. Why do I need to do it? I need to rest my soul. I need to be in constant communication with God. I'm doing a lot of things. So guys, I'm a mother of 2. I'm a wife. I have a corporate job. I have a business with my husband, okay? I also have another business through title insurance. I connected with a gentleman, and I'm one of his partners to title insurance. So I do that. I work. I do that. I said I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm also a pastor with my mom, taking care of the needs of the church. Okay. I am also things are just kind of escaping my mind right now, but so many things that I do. I'm doing the lives every Wednesday that I gotta prepare for. I have an Instagram account now. I have a Facebook account that I have a team of people that are helping me manage it, but most of it is me. I have to tell them, okay, this is what I want. This is what I don't want. This is what's happening. This is my mindset. This is what we're doing. A lot of meetings, a lot of putting things together, okay? Some stuff I get paid for, this stuff I don't. I encourage you, share it. It's not about the money. It's about what God is calling me to do. That's why it's easy for me. It's easier for me to get this done. Oh yeah, Tasha, yeah, I'm an author. I don't know if you know who I am. If you know what else, just tell me. Yeah, I wrote a book. I'm an author. All these things that I'm doing and just making sure that I'm not spreading myself thin. For the title insurance, I give that 1 day. But in 1 day, I do more than most people do in the whole week, because I've learned how to master the skills that God's giving me, right? People skills, working with people, connecting with people. So why did he want me to partner up with him? He said, listen, go to these events, connect with people, and they'll do business with you. And I said, okay, let's do it. Obviously, those are after work hours. Those are things that I do outside of that. I help my mom. I do flyers. I do designs. It's just so many things that I do. And in all those things, I'm a preacher. Yes, I'm a preacher. I'm preaching in the nations. Are you kidding me? That is crazy. India, Africa, Pakistan, just amazing, amazing, amazing. And just so many things that people pull me in different places. But I have learned in this time that I will control my calendar and that I will have a time of rest. It lowers stress hormones when you rest. So number one, it aids in recovery. Number two, it prevents mental burnout. Yes, Tasha, worldwide, that's crazy. Prevents mental burnout, lowers stress hormones. What's the number one killer? Not COVID, it's stress. Okay? More people died from depression and anxiety that they did COVID. Those statistics are online. You could go look it out. Look them up. Okay? Helps you sleep better. Ooh, how many people want to sleep better? Ooh, you sleep like a baby. You wake up and you're nice and rested. And it keeps you healthy. It keeps your immune system functioning the way it's supposed to function. No rest equals burnout, illness, injury, all those things. Our God, if you're listening to me today, I want to introduce you to him if you don't know him. But my God, he has taught me how to rest. Why? He has taught me because I don't rest. That is not my default. My default is to work. My mother's calling me, ¿qué tú haces? Trabajando. I'm like, pero nena, son las 11 de la noche. You know, is 11 o'clock at night? I said, no, I know, mommy, I needed to do this, that. You know, the baby's sleeping. I'm getting stuff done or whatever. But it's always, I'm doing this, I'm doing that for the glory of God. A lot of it is for the Lord. And he gives me the passion and the love to get it all done. Are you in God's calling? Are you doing what God has called you to do? Or have you tapped into the gifts that God has called you to do? Because when you tap into those gifts, it's not work anymore. You enjoy doing it. You're passionate doing it. You know, whatever you do, do it as if you're doing it. The Bible says, whatever you do it as you are doing it for me. If you're working for the church, if you're working for a job, if you're working for wherever it is you're doing, corporate America, you have your business, and if you're doing it for the Lord, you understand that God will give you the blessing that surpasses all understanding. Let me tell you, whatever it is you're doing, there are some people that is not ministry. I know a nurse that through the pandemic, and I love her very much. We went to college together, and she was typing stuff on Facebook and she was saying, I can't believe, you know, she probably had not been to church forever because she was working 12, 14 hours a day. And I told her, do you realize that what you're doing as a nurse, you're a that is your ministry? Do you realize that sometimes we have this mindset that we have to be in church 24/7, or for my church folks that are listening to me today, that you have to do stuff in ministry all day to be in God's will? No. Your ministry might be changing Pampers right now. Your ministry might be the nurse that you are. I know I have another nurse here, Milagros, right? That is your ministry. At the time, I'm not saying don't go to church. Please give time to worship and fellowship. That's important and is also biblical. But sometimes we can't get there. Sometimes we're doing what we need to do. But as long as what you're doing it for the Lord. Oh my God, the burdens. The Bible says that he will take away every burden from your shoulder and he will give you rest. He will give you rest. Try it. Try it this week. Take out time to rest. Take out time to decompose. Take out time without your children, without your husband, or if you're a male listening to me today, without your wife, or without people that are constantly tugging for your time. They're tugging. You know, I was talking to a preacher and he was like, hey, listen, I want you to do this for me and do that for me and do this for me. I'm like, no. I will let you know when I'm available. You know, you don't know my calendar. Don't own my calendar. I am very strict with that because you know what? Right now, if anybody's going to own my calendar, it's going to be my family, my husband, my children. It's not going to be another preacher that wants me to do 20 million things for him. No. I will do it according to the way God wants me to do it because it's time. consuming to do a lot of things. So I got to make sure that I am keeping, number one, my priorities straight. Okay? That I'm keeping my why in front of me all the time. That I'm taking out time for myself. And that I'm resting. Okay? All of those things are so important. And I want to thank everyone today for listening. Belkis, mi amor, I don't know if I say hi to you. God bless you. Oh, my daughter said that her ministry is to take naps right now. I'm gonna beat her up. That's my daughter in college. She's funny. Yeah, but yeah, that's, is everybody's calling. You got to figure out what your calling is. You got to figure out what your focus is, because it becomes it's not a burden when it's your calling. It's not a burden when it's your gift. Let me tell you, I don't know why, and maybe my parents knew this, but while I was 4 or 5 years old, my parents had me in pulpits doing like poetry stuff, and at 4 or 5 years old. And now here I am in front of thousands of people every single day, talking to people in front of people. And listen, I am very, I get nervous all the time when I'm here, because I take this seriously. And what I want to encourage you right now is that you share this. Share it with somebody that needs to learn how to balance it all. Share it with a group, share it with a church, share it with a business. Go on now on Facebook and share it. Let me see you share it. If you're on Instagram, share it in DM it to somebody. Okay? When I post this, go back and check it and comment on it when you're done, so that people can see it. It could be on their timeline, because I think this information is so important to learn how to balance it all. So number one, share it. Number two, I just took out, my podcast just came out. It comes out every Tuesday, and it is spicy. It's the title of the podcast, The Prevail Point. You can subscribe in Anchor, Spotify, and in Google. It's called There's No Competition in Heaven. I see too much competition. I see too much competition going on with the people of God, with the people of the world, social media, who has more followers, who don't have more followers. Trust me, I want more followers. I tell my daughter, have people follow me, okay? But it doesn't control me. When it's time for that to happen, it will happen. I'm just being consistent in what God has me doing today, which is doing these lives, which is doing my podcast, which is building my relationships with my family, which is making sure that I'm taking out time to be with the relationships that are important to me. And that's what I want to encourage you today. If you've missed any of these lives, we are on episode 27 weeks in a row. Can you believe that? That's just God. You can catch them on YouTube, on my YouTube channel at Jinary Arce-Cotto. If you're on Facebook, once I post this, you can scroll, you can see my Twitter, you can see my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube, how to purchase my book in Audibles, how to get my workbook. If you want my workbook, it's completely free. God bless you, Vilma. I am working on doing it in Spanish, and that should be coming out shortly. But once you know what your goal is, once you know, because I mentioned that again, I see Tasha said health and wellness. That's her gift, right? That's her gift. That's awesome. So to wake up at 4 a.m. and work out is not a big deal for her, because that's her gift. She loves it. She's passionate about it. This is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about going into your heart and making sure that your heart is pure, so that we can all make it to heaven. There's no competition in heaven. We're all in the same race. You got to go check out that podcast. I will post it on IG and on Facebook, but just go on The Prevail Point. Go and subscribe, and you'll get them every single Tuesday. It's going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. So what else? I have my Twitter. Just scroll my name. Got my Twitter, my Instagram, Jinary Arce-Cotto, at Prevail the Book. If you're on Facebook, go follow me on IG at Jinary Arce-Cotto and Prevail the Book. And go like my author page. If you're on IG, go like my author page at Jinary Arce-Cotto. Author Jinary Arce-Cotto. Author-Jinary Arce-Cotto. Arce-Cotto, and you can like the page. So, yes, everybody, God bless you. Stay safe, Belkis. Thank you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, mi amor, Belkis. I love you so much. And everybody that gets on. It's just an amazing journey for all of us. And just so you can know, every topic that I talk about is something that I've been through. Is something that I have, this is Chari, I have no idea which is my passion anymore. I'll find way though in time, love these. Listen, Chari, listen to this, okay? And with this, I'm done. If you don't know what your passion is, figure out what bothers you the most. And it's probably what you need to do to fix it. I need you to go and subscribe right now to the Prevail Point. My podcast that just came out on Tuesday. There's no competition in heaven. I teach there how you find your passion. If you have no idea what it is, the goal of these lives is that you find your passion. What is the gift? What is it that you want to do, right? How do you prevail in every situation in your life? So go do that, Chari, okay? Go do it. Go do it. I wanna see you subscribe. But God bless you guys. Next week, I need you to bring your husbands. I see Mike here. I see, Vinny. This is not just for women, guys. This is for men too. All right. So invite your husbands. Next week, I am going to have my husband. And my husband, he's amazing. He talks sometimes and I'm like, wait a minute, where did that come from? He is amazing. From super shy, they didn't know how to look somebody in the eye. He just wasn't raised like that. He was very introverted. He's learned how to be an incredible businessman. Consistency, relentless, getting stuff done. No is not in his vocabulary. I can't is not in his vocabulary. We're going to talk a little bit about our marriage. Not everything, but enough of what we've come from to where we are at today. I'm going to share that part with you. I'm going to share that intimacy with you because we've come a long way. We've come a long way. So we're talking about the good, the bad, the ugly. Woo! We're going to talk about some spicy things. We're going to be a little bit transparent. But at the end of the day, it's about relationships. Okay? It's about relationships. So how do I search this podcast? Go anchor.com. Go to anchor.com, anchorfm.com, or when I'm done with this, there's a link and it's called the Prevail Point. You could either get it on Spotify, Google, or Anchor. If you have Spotify, just click the Prevail Point, and you'll see it. You'll see my picture, okay? Selev, you're asking me, how do you get the podcast? How do you search the podcast? And I'll send you the link after this. All right? God bless you guys. Oh my God, there were so many people here. Please send me the info and message, please. Okay, I saw you. Oh yeah, I'll do it. Okay, I'll send you the podcast. Go get it. This podcast is spicy. You need to go listen to it. God bless you all. I'll say bye to Instagram first. Then I say bye to Facebook.